the government in this initiative, the World Bank on the policy side, IFC with financing and advisory. So we're very happy to be here and look forward to further supporting Uzbekistan's plans towards energy transition.
Thank you. I am Bahadur Siddiqov, chairman of national company named Uzbekneftgaz. As you may probably know, Uzbekneftgaz is currently responsible for developing of mainly gas fields in Uzbekistan. And currently we produce more than 60% of gas production in Uzbekistan. And we are here to share our views on this traditional energy resources, what kind of perspectives we see. So we are ready to answer if there are any questions. Thank you very much.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Ронак Абдуллаев, я заместитель министра экономики Азербайджана. Сегодня меня попросили рассказать о возможных схемах налогообложения нефтяной отрасли и лучшие возможности для инвестиций нефтяного отрасли, финансирования сектора и возможностей. Спасибо.
So as I said, the format will be, we'll hit each panelist up with a few questions each. I think to begin, let's start with Mr. Hussein, Regional Business Development Lead at IFC. I have 3 questions for you. The first, I think, we'll set the stage here for what are the main challenges Uzbekistan is currently facing in the power sector, and how does investment in traditional energy, how's it going to help address that?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so the most significant challenges that Uzbekistan's power sector is faced with is a multitude of factors. One is that there is an energy shortfall, energy supply shortfall, and then there is the demand for energy is growing at a rapid pace as the economy is growing. So that's one bucket of challenges, that you have to produce enough electrons to meet the demand. At the same time, the energy mix of Uzbekistan is very carbon intensive today, right? Over 80% of the power is produced through traditional sources of fuel. And while there is abundant potential of indigenous renewable energy sources, so the government is rightly directing the initiatives towards bringing in more renewables, into the energy mix. So that's the second bucket, that you have to fix the energy mix. And I think the last one, we all have to remind ourselves that the world is converging towards the Paris-aligned goals, right, towards decarbonization targets. So every country, like every country, Uzbekistan has NDCs defined, and there is a net zero targets that the countries are also looking to formulate, right? So renewable energy, is going to increasingly form a large part of the energy mix as we go forward. And as I said, Uzbekistan is very well aware of that and is directing all its efforts, towards increasing that energy mix. So where does a traditional source of generation come into play? That the renewable energy, by definition, has intermittency. That's why it's called variable renewable energy. So to address the intermittency, you have to plan and structure your power system in a way that it can bring in the electrons, from the renewable energy. And there is what is called a balancing factor that's required, and that's where the traditional energy sources based on, power projects based on gas will continue to play a very instrumental role, in terms of balancing the grid, right? So in Uzbekistan, particularly, the gas-based projects, would serve two purposes. One is that they will meet the energy demand, and they will replace the existing inefficient old thermal plants, so that with modern technology and much lower cost and optimized use of gas, which will then contribute towards the balancing role that the thermal plants have to play in the overall power system, right? So this is a well thought out, well structured strategy and plan of Uzbekistan that IFC and the World Bank Group are proud to be a part of, to be supporting the Uzbek government on this on this pathway towards energy sustainability and energy security over time.
Thank you for that. Well, I guess the follow-on would then be, what's the role that IFC is going to play here, pushing the private sector in the transition?
All right. So IFC.
Board composition was that we have to increase the level of participation of independent board members in the company, and to create some independent view which can be deferred from the government view, let's say, on the further development of the company. But we are still in the process. We are aiming that by 2025 we will come to our targets on the having the level of participation of independent board members in the management of the company, and many other things. So this year we have completed the creation of special committees to the board. So we didn't have a remuneration committee, we didn't have the committee for compliance, and all these things are completed this year. So, and we think that these committees will serve as a good bridge between the management of the company and the board of directors. So I think we are moving forward on the governances and our policies, and we are very strong that we have of the strong opinions that we have to make this change. And I believe the target date 2025 and targeted our ideas will be achieved by that day. Thank you.
I mean, you're central to the development, and as you build the asset base and the operations and profitability down the road, the public can own you, and at a very high valuation. Saudi Aramco did pretty well. Maybe you can repeat the success. But on operational efficiency, and you're state-owned, you have policy objectives, it's a process, but what are you doing to work on operational efficiency and profitability?
Yeah, thank you. This is exactly our tactics. So we are currently busy with improving of our operational efficiency also, because we are not satisfied with the current results we have. So I think one of the key directions of improving of operational effectiveness is to make sure that we have enough implementation of digital solution, automation processes. And currently Uzbekneftgaz is busy with introducing the information technologies to the, first of all, we started with the modeling of our reservoirs, modeling of our gas fields. And this first part is successfully completed together with our partner Schlumberger. We have, in 2019, we have started this project, so we have procured several programs, and currently we do have a digital cubes of our fields on 100% on UNG. So next step currently is we are working on automation of drilling processes, because we are not satisfied with the timing of drilling required currently on our companies. And our target is to expedite the drilling duration for 2 times. And besides that, one of the key issues in oil and gas and traditional energy, I think, was rightly mentioned by our colleague from AXA, is actually the energy savings. And currently, we do expect that, we do understand that energy savings should happen not only in distribution, as it was rightly mentioned, but even in the level of production of oil and gas. So we are developing extensive documents in terms of controls of use of natural gas in our compressor stations, and we are looking forward to make sure that our loss is on the minimum level. But all is that possible only if we know what are the amounts. So, and at the current stage, I can say that oil and gas, gas fields don't have the measurement system. So by the instruction of our president, we started a new project where we want to install all the measurement equipments on each well. So to make sure that we know how much gas is coming out from the well. Then we are, by the end of this year, we are targeting that all the gas fields and our gas fields will be covered by measurement systems, and we will know exactly which well is producing how much of gas. And from that point, then we can talk about the energy saving and gas saving and gas leakages issues when we know exactly how much gas is produced by the wells. So we are doing a big job on that. We are in a process of it. So, and our target is to finalize it by the end of this year. And next big step is actually energy efficiency and operational efficiency in our companies. We have a specific department in UNG, which was created recently also. We have my first deputy who is responsible for this whole transformation and increase of operational effectiveness. So specific title was given to the person who is first deputy, so in order to have a chance to affect the operation environment. And currently we have already in place all the studies we have analyzed last year. So the number of unexpected shutdowns, the number of cases where we had to stop the production, we have calculated, we have identified all the issues we have, and it looks like the cost of this all things is actually, it doesn't even, so we have to do all this cost, and the amount of gas we will save from that, actually, we can cover all this cost within 2-3 years. So not stopping all the activities on yearly basis or monthly basis, but mainly to have a capex to invest in this. And from that time, I think we will enjoy a good operation of these facilities, and it will help us to meet the requirements on natural gas, etc. So we are working on that process also. And in terms of increase of operational efficiency, we have recently introduced new departments in each production unit. So these departments will be reporting directly to the management, which is my first deputy. So their view and their recommendations will be separately from the operation field. So from that perspective, we are already forming a new request where these guys who are responsible for this sustainable operation of this facility are not linked to the daily production and daily routine. So they have to make a good planning and to tell us, this is a request, this what you should do, and they are not worried about the daily interruption of the production, etc. So I think this independent team is doing good job currently. So we are now already receiving all the reports, and I think so within a short time we will be able to start implementation of these all recommendations and make our doing business thing much more better. Thank you.
Well said. Well, profitability attracts investment, and that drives CapEx and more exploration and production. So let's move to an investment theme here. What tax benefits are even available to investors in the market?
Yeah, I think thank you for your question. Currently, Uzbekistan, as you know, is rich of natural gas, but main fields which we have already depleting. So we are now working on doing more investment on exploration, and we invite our partners also to invest in exploration. This is, I think, exploration is the main part of oil and gas. It should be main part of oil and gas investment for the nearest future. And I would say that there are very good tax benefits provided by the government to the foreign companies who are investing in exploration, which are, I think, exemption almost from all the taxes. I mean, there is no income tax, there is no land tax, there is no tax for use of water. So there are a lot of tax benefits. I can say that almost no taxes for companies who are investing in exploration. And there are also custom duties on the all equipment and which will be brought under this project. And if there is a good finding, so then there is an investor decision to continue to develop this field, then this company who invested in exploration has a first right to negotiate with the government the terms and conditions. And the next thing, which is UNG is not very happy, but it's good for foreign investors that royalty tax for foreign investors who are developing gas fields, let's say, it's 10%, comparing to UNG current royalty, which is 15%. So these are good benefits for the foreign companies, I think. Yeah. So we invite everybody who is interested to come, and we will share our perspectives on that.
I'm sure that difference won't stay that way forever. But this perfect opportunity to shift now to Mr. Abdullayev, Deputy Minister of the Republic of Azerbaijan. How does the petroleum tax scheme in your country work, and how is it designed to attract investment?
Огромное спасибо. Я приветствую участников форума. В соответствии с законодательством Азербайджанской Республики, право собственности на все нефтяные ресурсы, находящиеся в естественном состоянии подземных или поверхностных слоях, включая Каспийское море, принадлежит государству. Как уже известно, Азербайджан после приобретения независимости при выгодных условиях с начала середины 90-х годов подписал более 30 соглашений. Соглашения о разделе разработки и разделе добычи нефтегазовой отрасли на Каспийском море. И первый контракт, как вы многие знают, в 1994 году был подписан. Операторы по этим контрактам действуют в соответствии с условиями налогообложения, предусмотренных в самом соглашении. Почти все офшорные консорциумы действуют в рамках соглашения о разделе продукции, СРП. Было подписано несколько соглашений о обслуживании рисков для новых областей разведки и добычи. Таким образом, фиксированные уровни налогов придали дополнительный комфорт подрядчикам вышеуказанных соглашений. В соответствии, каждый контракт предусматривает оплату налога на прибыль, указанных прямо в соглашении. Подавляющее большинство нефтегазовых контрактов, подписанных в Азербайджане, как я сказал, на сегодняшний день были заключены на основе СРП. Каждое такое соглашение имеет статус отдельного закона и устанавливает договорные отношения между иностранными компаниями и СОКАР в отношении разработки конкретного нефтегазового месторождения. Хотя условия каждого СРП уникальны, все текущие соглашения имеют схожую структуру, содержат множество стандартных положений, таких как права и обязанности сторон, контрактная зона, период разработки и добычи, возмещение затрат на разведку и разделение производства, налогообложение и бонусные выплаты. Налоговая система Азербайджана вообще-то включает 3 альтернативных режима налогообложения. Установленный законом налоговый режим, который регулируется налоговым кодексом, налоговый режим, установленный существующим СРП, и налоговый режим, установленный 2 существующими соглашениями в Азербайджане с правительствами принимающих стран, как называется. Эти соглашения, вы знаете, что наша трубопроводная система Баку-Тбилиси-Джейхан проходит через 3 страны, и Южно-Кавказский трубопровод, газовый трубопровод проходит через 3 страны. И есть специальное соглашение с принимающими странами, где это отдельным налоговым режимом закреплено. И во всех этих случаях предусматриваются различные правила налогообложения. Касательно налогового режима, основного СРП, хотелось бы отметить, что в настоящее время в Азербайджане подписано и ратифицировано более 30 СРП. СРП содержит определенные положения, регулирующие налогообложение. Кроме того, подобные процедуры налогообложения изложены в налоговых протоколах к СРП. СРП подписывается правительством Азербайджанской республики в лице СОКАР и подрядчиками, известными иностранными нефтяными компаниями. Также СРБ установит правила налогообложения для иностранных субподрядчиков, выполняющих работу или оказывающих услуги в связи с этой СРП. В соответствии с СРП подрядчик, осуществляющий деятельность, связанную с нефтяными операциями в Азербайджане, должен платить налог на прибыль со ставкой от 20 до 32%. Подрядчики, операционные компании, местные иностранные субподрядчики освобождаются от НДС с нулевой процентной ставок в отношении деятельности, связанной с нефтью, включая поставки товаров, работ, услуг, экспорт нефтепродуктов, импорт товаров, работ и всех услуг. Вместо налога на прибыль иностранный субподрядчик уплачивает налог у источника по ставке от 5 до 10%, начисляемый на валовый доход от работ и услуг, выполняемых в Азербайджане. В соответствии с СРП иностранный субподрядчик определяется как юридическое лицо, зарегистрированное за пределами Азербайджана и представляющие товары, работы и услуги прямо или косвенно подрядчику в соответствии с СРП. Стоит отметить, что СРП освобождает весь импорт, осуществляемый в связи с соглашением от таможенных пошлин и НДС. Подрядчики, эксплуатирующие компании с их субподрядчики могут получить свидетельство об освобождении импортных и экспортных пошлин, выданных Государственным таможенным комитетом. Только компания, зарегистрированная в Азербайджане, имеет право на освобожденный статус. Эта компания должна зарегистрироваться в Азербайджане, субподрядная компания. Ну, специальное налогообложение для главного экспорта трубопровода было бы интересно, но самое интересное для этого вида налогообложения, я вам могу сказать, что по соглашению с правительством принимающей страны и по главному экспортному трубопроводу подрядчики не несут никаких налоговых обязательств или обязательств по подаче отчетности, связанных с их деятельностью по этой главному экспортному трубопроводу. Участники главного экспортного трубопровода, это инвесторы проекта, также имеют право вводить, выводить, реэкспортировать без налогов и ограничений любое оборудование, материалы, все связанное с этой деятельностью. Налоговый кодекс устанавливает общую систему налогообложения в соответствии с установленным законом налоговым режимом. У нас общий Азербайджане, у нас общий режим налогообложения, налог на прибыль, налог на добавленную стоимость, налог на имущество, налог на доходы физических лиц, взнос на социальное страхование, страхование по безработице, налог на добычу полезных ископаемых, земельный налог, акцизный налог и дорожный. Чтобы подрядчики, инвестирующие в нефтегазовую отрасль, не так испугались этих налогов, для них, для всех этих проектов сделана специальная СРП, которая защищает их законом, их инвестиции, и специальные налоговые, я как ранее рассказал, специальные налоги, которые установлены только для этого проекта. В конце я хотел подытожить, в целом существует существенное различие в налогообложении между деятельностью, связанной с соглашением СРП, и деятельностью, не связанной с СРП, поскольку условия СРП обычно включают существенные налоговые льготы, я как сказал ранее, для инвесторов. И взаимовыгодные условия существуют не только для подрядных сторон, а также имеют существенное преимущество для субконтрактов. Таким образом, за последние 30 лет среда возможностей для потенциальных инвесторов постепенно росла, и в Азербайджан вложено десятки миллиардов долларов инвестиций зарубежных нефтяных компаний. И я думаю, что эта динамика впредь будет сохраняться и продолжаться, и постоянно поддерживает и вносит свой вклад в экономику нашей страны. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. It seems attractive to investment. A quick follow-up question is, each of those PSAs is negotiated differently. Do they have a protection from change of law or some kind of economic equilibrium clause? Protection from change of law.
Каждая СРП в Азербайджане считается законом, и закон обратной силы не имеет. И все изменения законов Азербайджана на СРП не относятся. У нас СРП 1994 года Адель Чирак Чунашли, который мы продлили до 50-го года, уже 25 плюс 25. Ни один запятая в этом СРП, ни одна буква не поменена, не изменена, потому что мы уважаем инвесторов и не меняем законы, которые приняли, создали для наших СРП.
Very good answer.
И это дало возможности уже почти 30 лет инвесторы в Азербайджане на нефтегазовый сектор, очень большое, как сказать, желание участвовать в наших проектах. И за этот, для истории короткий срок, Азербайджан создал, я бы сказал, великую инфраструктуру выхода к 3 морям. Систему трубопроводов, газопроводов. И последний проект Южный газовый коридор, который уникальный проект, который во главе с Азербайджаном был построен, обеспечение Европы газом. В начале 2021 года мы уже начали поставлять газ в Европу. Это великий проект, который проходит через 7 или 8 стран, и начало берет в Шахдане. Стоимость проекта была где-то больше 40 миллиардов долларов. И вовремя в бюджете мы закончили этот проект, потому что в Азербайджане все СРП, все приняты на себя обязательства азербайджанского правительства выполняют.
Well, thank you very much for that. Mr. Chaturvedi, Azerbaijan is attracting investors and financing. What you've worked extensively in financing energy projects. What's the landscape like here for attracting financing, and what are the obstacles structurally to get to closure?
Thanks, Shinu. In terms of the financing landscape, we need to look at how conventional energy or traditional energy and renewable energy has evolved over the past few years with the increased focus on ESG, carbon reduction, and Paris alignment, and the NDCs of different countries. Many of the IFIs or DFIs, development financial institutions, as well as ECAs, which are the export credit agencies, are increasingly limiting their exposures to conventional energy. What that means is there are still pockets of financing which needs to be looked at. It needs to be looked at in a more structured manner so that we are able to tap into those resources in an optimal manner, as well as going forward, make sure that there are financings available for other projects. Now, and this is where, in contrast to renewable energy over the past years, the interest as well as liquidity available for renewable energy projects has increased significantly. So structuring a renewable energy project has become much more plain vanilla and a standardized kind of a project, whereas for conventional energy, this requires more structuring, more thought behind it to make sure that the end solution is something which works out for different stakeholders. And in this context, if you look at Uzbekistan, as of now, it has been able to attract DFIs, it has been able to attract ECAs from different countries, from both Europe and from East Asia or Far East Asia. So it has been able to do that over the last 4-5 years, but going forward, increasingly, these sources would start get limiting, and that's where the different stakeholders have to be more innovative in their approach to make sure that the projects continue to happen, because as we have just discussed, conventional energy is definitely something which is needed going forward and which will form the base of energy within the country.
Thank you for that. One of the projects, Sidarya 2, you were involved in, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and so what were some of the challenges that you faced in trying to raise the debt portion for that transaction, and what are the lessons learned?
Sure. See, I think some of the lessons learned are what we just talked about, and in fact, my co-panelists, both from the sponsor side and lender side, have talked, or they would be talking about it. But one specific area which is not just relevant for this particular project, but other projects in general for the country, is lack of local banking and lack of local financial capabilities to support and execute these projects. So, for example, in any kind of project financing, you need onshore security agents, or you need working capital lenders. These are something which are not very well developed within the Uzbek banking sector, and that is something which needs to be focused upon to make sure that going forward, some of these larger transactions are well supported and are well financed in an optimal manner.
Thank you very much for that. It's always good to have a success story on the panel, I think we're going to finish strong here. Mr. Antonusen, congratulations, I guess, for being the winning consortium for the 1600 megawatt Sidaria CCGT tender. Now, EDF recently signed all the documents. Is it an early congratulations, or is everything buttoned up?
You can congratulate us.
Okay, very good. How would you rate the support that you received, the commitment, from the government of Uzbekistan, and just generally comment on what that experience was like, and can it be repeated?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I well understand, I'm the last one to speak before lunch. So I had prepared a report for about 30 minutes, but with your permission, I will make it short. Okay?
Thank you.
I would like to just to mention 4 points. First point is, you mentioned that's a success, but we teamed up for that. So we always say EDF, but EDF never goes on a project alone. We always look for partners, and on this specific project, Sirdaria 2, we partner with 2 Japanese companies, Sojitz Corporations and Kyuden, and with one company from Qatar called Nebras. So I would like to thank them, and I think part of the success is also the coherence in the sponsors. I think that's a very key element. Second thing is it has been mentioned by my colleagues, so also the coherence and the great dialogue with the lenders, and so that it went relatively smoothly, to be very frank. So that's the first point. Second point, that's the dialogue with the Uzbek authorities. To be frank, we have been awarded the project in 2021, and a few months before the war in Ukraine, and this war affected us very strongly, especially from a logistical point of view. I'll give you an example, how to bring a huge turbine from Japan to Uzbekistan without going through Russia. So we were facing issues, and what the strategy we had is just to open a clear dialogue with the authorities and to say that, to explain and try to find common solutions. So we implemented what we called the one team philosophy. The success of EDF and its partner was the success of the government and vice versa. This project was crucial, and we didn't want to have any obstacles and any delays. And actually, despite of all what happened at the international level, the project has been delayed for 2 months, which is almost nothing, to be frank. Where we stand, we closed financially the project last month, actually. And contrary to what Mr. Mirza Mahmoudov said yesterday, we will not start building at the end of the year. We started. We have, as we say, boots on the ground right now. We have the EPC contractor deployed in Sirdaria, and we start building right now. So that was for Sirdaria. So again, thanks a lot to all the partners and to the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Investment and International Trade for the great support. If you allow me, my third comment would be, since we are on a panel on traditional energy, and we spoke a lot about gas, let me say a word on water, on hydro electricity, because we believe very much in hydroelectricity in Uzbekistan. That's also a sector where not a lot of investment have been made over the last years, but where there is an important potential. We signed up 2 projects with the government, with the Ministry of Energy and with Uzgidroenergo. And when visiting the sites, going in the Uzbek mountains, we discovered that the potential is much higher than what we signed. And also that new techniques such as the pumping storage techniques can be really implemented here. And I think it's a field which needs a lot of attention from the authorities, but also from the investors. And maybe my last point, and it has been tackled several times yesterday during the plenary session, and I was so happy also to see on the Presidium the head of presidential administration of the Kyrgyz Republic. This is the regional cooperation. The regional cooperation, for me, in Central Asia is key. Not only the transport and generation. So that's really something that we try to promote at our level. So we are, it's a small level, but we have engaged on a dialogue with the authorities in the Kyrgyz Republic. We are ready to discuss with other ones. But this idea of producing hydroelectricity or maybe some other types of electricity in some countries to benefit the neighboring country it's an idea. It's not new idea. It's even an old one. But I think because of the circumstances, because of the scarcity of the resources, it's an idea which should be really pushed and developed. So I will stop here, and if there are any questions, I would be happy to answer. Thank you.
Sure. There may be. I don't want to keep this crowd away from lunch, so I think we do stop here. So thank you to all the panelists on behalf of the organizers and myself. I hope it was informative, and enjoy lunch.